What's up, everybody? Sideline Specialist back again. I have returned also after a great solo pod from Tom last week. This week, we are on episode 20. We're talking should the Dallas Cowboys hit the panic button? We're talking the
Yes.
Jaguars sitting in London for a second week just to get another L. We're talking Drake Maye's first start, plenty of NFL topics, some baseball playoffs, probably some hockey topics. Probably not basketball just yet because I'm going to wait for that until we next week to like right before the season. But without further ado, let's jump into our little intro real quick.
Welcome to Sideline Specialists.
Yeah. Oh, actually, you have the Wawa hoodie on, so I'll just do this.
There you go. And what's going on, Tom? How you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's been it was a ridiculously busy week at work. I felt like a piece. I literally felt like a piece of Jello this morning when I woke up. I was like, I'm not moving because I'm off. Not moving.
Dude,
That's
the
how it was,
moment
so
the moment it's like now dark when I wake up, I just do not want to get out of bed at all. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going anywhere. I'm laying right here. It's
dude, it was,
warm in bed because it's cold outside now.
dude. Yeah, it was chilly. It was chilly today. I was like, okay, yeah, it finally feels like the month that it is
Exactly.
today. It like hit. I was like, okay. Yeah, because I remember last winter I was doing like these like package delivery routes, and you'd have to like drive up to this warehouse at like literally 6 a.m. So like literally from the time you wake up to the time you get to the warehouse and probably leave the warehouse, it was still dark out. And it was just like, oh my God. But
Oh, that sounds awful.
yeah, and it was December too, so it's literally like it's 15, windy, and dark. So you're like, ugh,
Nope. I'm good.
it's so cold.
I remember doing night shifts when I worked IT help desk in Pittsburgh when I was still living there after I graduated. And I would get into work at 11:30 p.m. And that was the only time they allowed us to park like underneath the building since it was downtown. So
Ooh,
you would just like it'd be pitch black out, you go down underneath, and then you'd be sitting in like a dark office room for until 7:30 a.m. But then when it was winter, you would like come out from like the cave of the underground parking lot to just more darkness.
yeah, you're
And
like,
you're
I'm
like,
still in the cave.
exactly. And then you go to bed and it finally gets light again. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had like blackout curtains on my window because I'm like, I need fake nighttime or some shit right now.
Oh, yeah. Same.
100%. Oh
But
man.
what do you want to start with? Do you want to start with? I know you brought up hockey when you texted me. I don't know if you want to start
Yeah,
off with some hockey topics here.
I figured. I pulled out my Kopitar jersey too. I was like, let's just roll with it.
All right.
I will let's do this guy right here. So, obviously we are in the very beginnings of the season, which I'm just happy hockey's back. I don't ever care how deep or not deep we are in the season, but hockey is back. And
Love that all the sports are coming back.
yeah, so I mean, so far there's not like crazy some. I mean, there's some surprises. Like I think the biggest surprise I saw earlier is probably this right here. Colorado is dead last in the Central to start off 0-2, and they've given up 14 goals in 2 games, which is just like insane. So they have some things to figure out. Obviously, Utah up here has given up 14 in twice as many games, and they're 3-1. Beat the Rangers last night in a really tough earned win. So um, Vegas being 3-0, Calgary being 3-0 surprises me. They came back from 4-1 against Vancouver. That game ended up 5-5 or 6-6 before it went to OT. Just a ridiculous opening game, and then the Flyers did fall to them.
Flyers won their
2
very
days
first
ago.
game, right?
Yeah, so the Flames played Vancouver on Friday. The Flyers played Vancouver on Saturday.
Okay.
And then the Flyers had a back-to-back. They played the Flames on they played they played the Flames on Saturday. It was just rewind everything by 1 day.
I got you.
They beat Vancouver in a shootout that went like 7 rounds. Morgan Frost with a beauty. And then the Flames they took a lead and they kept the lead. Like the Flyers would make it a 1-goal game, and then the Flames would score again, and it would be a 2-goal game. And then once it was 4-3, it was too late in the game. The Flyers went empty net, and the Flames got 2 more. So like the final score of 6-3 makes it look like it was a really rough game. It was 4-3 with like 2 minutes to go.
Okay.
So the Flyers genuinely didn't play like a horrible game. But there was like, it was obvious like they really needed to just start hotter.
Right.
It was 2-0 Flames pretty like 10 minutes in, and that's just tough to come back from on the road. So the unfortunate hockey news, Macklin Calabrini for the San Jose Sharks, the number 1 overall pick, is on injured reserve. It's short term, but it's still a bummer to see him get hurt in like so early into his rookie season.
Yeah, seriously.
And he had the weirdest first career goal I've ever seen in my life. He went for like a spinorama backhand pass to a teammate, and it hit a defender's skate from like 15 feet from the net and then just went in. And it was just like so funny looking. But I'm like, hey, look, he got it. He'll take it.
If it scores, it scores.
Oh, actually, yeah, I need to point this out because I just looked. The Edmonton Oilers, losers of the Stanley Cup last year, are repeating their performance from early in the season last year when they were horrible. 0-3, they've scored 3 goals and allowed 15.
Oof.
They are not having a fun time, but they get to play the Flyers, I think, tomorrow or 2 days from now. And knowing my Flyers, they'll find a way to get like smacked. I think it is tomorrow night at 10. Yep. Okay. So yeah, there's not too much to do with hockey just yet. Obviously, it's just more of a celebration of the fact that we have it back. It's always been one of my favorite sports to watch. I've pretty much, even if I missed a game, I've been watching replays on my iPad, just kind of in the background, basically every day. So it'll be cool to see how things play out. And once we get like a few weeks in, I'll start doing some more like in depth about players that are doing well and everything. But for now, let's just be happy. We're coming up on the 4-sport convergence. Oh, Bran Rocio homers on a fly ball to left field for Cleveland.
Hey.
It is a 3-run game.
That's what we like to see.
I need Quan to get a base hit, and I need a few. I need Quan, Lane Thomas, and J Ram. So pray for me, because there's not that much time left now. We're already in the fucking 6th inning. This game's moving, dude. This game's just moving now. But
I'm extra praying.
God, what are the Jets doing?
What was I going to say? Oh, my one question to you was going to be, so I know you said a couple of the teams had back-to-backs. Are back-to-backs, do they happen often in the NHL schedule? And is it as big of a debate in the NHL as it is in the NBA to get rid of back-to-backs?
No.
Okay.
So the one thing you got to think about too with hockey, right, is you play by shifts. They're grueling, and the physicality obviously will far surpasses most sports in general.
Right.
But every team carries 2 goaltenders, so the standard is on the first game of a back-to-back, you'll have your regular starter play, and then in the second game, you'll have your backup play. That way, at least your goalie's rested, because obviously they will be on the ice the entire 60 minutes. So,
I see.
They are fairly common, though. I mean, it's not an insane amount throughout the year, but like it's often enough. Like, I mean, I'll see if I can use the Flyers as an example. So October 11th and 12th was a back-to-back. The 22nd and 23rd will be a home and home with the Capitals. So that's a short travel. So you're not really too worried about that. That's a drive more than a flight. So move to November. Okay, end of November they have one that's home against the Rangers and then in St. Louis the next day. But the times of the games are helpful. Like they try to, if they're going to do a back-to-back, they do try, if with all the effort that they can put in, to make the times of the games more helpful. So like the home game against the Rangers is 1:00 in the afternoon, and then they play 7 p.m. the next day in St. Louis. So it is more of a gap.
Gotcha. Okay.
They do the best they can, because obviously, especially with like Philly as a team we're thinking about, the arena that they play in is shared at the moment by the Sixers, and then obviously concerts and everything. And not every city is like that.
Right.
But for Philly as a specific, like they do try to work around that. They try to work around other sporting events. So if it's a Sunday and the Eagles are playing, they will try to either make it later or earlier, depending. But yeah, the NHL is kind of the one team, like it's the one sport that really does like try to avoid time issues related to other events and such. So
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, because obviously it's been a very hot topic over the last few years for the NBA, with
for sure.
how taxing a lot of it is for all of their players in an 82 game season. So yeah, I was just curious. But with that being said, let's touch on real quick the baseball playoffs as well. I mean, I think you and I were both 75% correct with our predictions for the conference, or the conference series.
Okay, sick.
Because I think the only difference was I picked the Phillies,
And I picked the Mets,
and you
right?
had the Mets, and then
Yeah.
I picked Cleveland, and you had
I probably had Detroit.
yes.
Because it was just, I was purely going off the trends of the last couple seasons.
Right.
But what is it? And it's a good thing. Like, obviously the Phillies are the one bye week team that didn't make it, but I picked it. Well, I mean, I picked the Mets before anything, because I literally just, like, even how we played since July, I was like, there's just not enough I'm seeing for me to believe that they're going to beat a Mets team that is the hottest team since the All-Star break. Like, it just, and I was right. And then obviously, like, the Mets got fucking destroyed in game one, and then they came back today, and I'll give them credit, man. They don't know how to quit, and I have to respect that. All props to Detroit. They made that a hell of a series, but they did finally get to Skewball ball in game 5. And they got to him big. So,
Oh yeah.
That game went from like really competitive to out of reach real fast.
Oh yeah.
Because they had a chance in that next half inning. Detroit did get some momentum. They got 2 runs. They had the bases, I think, either loaded or guys 2 in scoring position, and then just couldn't get that one more hit to tie it up. And that was kind of curtains. But props to Cleveland, another team that going into the season, 0 people had any faith in doing much of anything, let alone winning their division, and now in the championship series. So props to them. They've done a good job drafting a lot. They've made a lot of moves in good ways, and they're at a point now that they probably will feel comfortable in this offseason spending some money.
Right.
Because they have the room to just add people and make this a better team than it already is.
And they might as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's, God damn it. Jose Ramirez with a 9 pitch at bat, but he lines out to center fielder.
Damn.
Son of a
Yeah,
biscuit.
I really like Cleveland a lot. And then I would have been very surprised if the Yankees didn't move on, because of how, I mean, just they've been just dominant pretty much all season.
For them, it was just that they needed the non-big names to step up.
Right. Right.
And because Judge is historically bad in the playoffs. Like I love him. I really like his records and he plays well in the regular season. He has not ever delivered in the postseason.
Right.
And he's still not, to be honest. Like today, props to him. He has a walk, a hit, or a walk, a run, and an RBI. He's hitting 143. It's just, and it blows my mind because you see this a lot too. The Royals, Bobby Witt had won the batting title, and he had like 2 hits in the whole series. I mean, it literally just out the window. And he's really young, so we'll hope it was like first time jitters, and then he can like get it cooking. But
Right. Yeah, I think it. I mean, there was a lot of weird things I feel like that happened in baseball in terms of like people that were incredibly hot all the way up until like August and then just disappeared, and
yeah.
even just like people disappearing in the playoffs.
Alec Boehm,
Oh yeah,
Jesus fucking Christ!
talk about disappearing. That's the
I
ultimate
just
disappearing act.
and I just did not like his. I know he was pissed off because I think he got ejected in that final game on a ball that was clearly not foul, and like good for him for having some energy to step up because Rob Thompson, who I think should be gone at this point,
Right.
unfortunately, just because what is on the team and what you're paying, and we can blame the GM too because like the deadline moves, none of those worked out.
Right.
Obviously the one reliever you traded for gave up the grand slam, and then Hayes, who was the outfielder that you brought in to help, didn't have a single hit. And that's frustrating for a lot of reasons, but I look at Bohm and like you have all these opportunities with runners in scoring position throughout the entire series, and you kind of get called out by a sly question, and your answer is, I know where I'm going to be next year because he has a contract. It's like, that doesn't really mean anything, dude. Because he fell off the face of the earth from the All-Star break to the end of the year. Like he went into the All-Star break literally leading the league in doubles. Like, and then he just vanished. So if the Phillies really are going to look at moving forward, there is going to be some consideration about trading a guy like Alec Boehm because he is a commodity. He's worth a lot as a trade piece. And what the Phillies do have excess of in their farm system is infield, especially Aiden Miller, who is their number 1 prospect. Third base is his primary position. So it's not something that's like you lose Boehm and you're set back forever. You actually already have people in place that could potentially jump right in. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm just curious to see what's going to happen with the off-season moves just because yeah. There's a lot that needs to be done like especially the relievers went from looking like they looked pretty good for most of the regular season, and then all of a sudden the relievers were like the worst relievers I've ever seen.
Sorry,
So
Josh Allen is literally so hype right now. It's unbelievable. And I couldn't not.
I
He
just saw
escaped.
that.
Yeah, he escaped like 2 sacks, gets over, and I think he hit the other is that Knox? Is that Dawson
Yeah,
Knox?
it's Knox.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, because Kincaid he was also on the field too.
Yeah.
A good play by Allen, man.
Oh, I thought he missed another point after.
Oh, I'm not even there yet. Let's see. Was it close? Because
It was definitely close.
All right, let's see it. He's kicking it right now. Oh yeah, that was almost wide right. Jesus, he was going. He was going for all the wrong things.
I do want to bring this up real quick because I'm not liking it. Not liking it at all.
Go ahead.
Paul George tonight. If you watch his left knee, buckles and looks like hyperextends.
Oh, yeah.
Left the game after this, has not returned, was not on the bench. So, good old Sixers curses happening yet again. Still
All right.
no word exactly.
I got 3 minutes. I got a tweet 3 minutes ago.
Oh,
It says, Sixers say Paul George's injury is just a left knee hyperextension.
I'm really hoping that's all it is.
Yeah, I'll probably be awake pretty late. I'll keep an eye on it, and then if anything is out, I'll either like tweet something fresh or retweet something. But, and I'll probably just shoot you a text or a message on Insta. So if you see something tagged at like 4 a.m., that's probably what it is. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on that because obviously the biggest tell will be the people outside the stadium waiting to see how he leaves.
Right.
Because that'll obviously be a big, because especially for Philly too, because all the fucking media are like, oh my God, anything? And they're just going to be everywhere. So,
Yeah. I mean, it looks like people are saying that he looked like he was walking to the locker room without a limp. So
it probably just felt numb.
Yeah.
Because I've had that like kind of deal happen. It feels like they'll know more tomorrow. They will know more tomorrow, and they'll obviously get it scanned because you need to make sure. But
exactly, they'll see if it swells. They'll see,
because if there's no ligament damage, there's things you can do just to like even just make him more comfortable until like walking around whatever until he feels like safe to play. But
yeah.
Oh,
I'm really hoping so.
Same. It's like one of the biggest signings of my lifetime for them. Even though he's an older guy, it's like we know he could still play. So it's one of those, of course, just hold your breath.
Exactly. Because this would have been like, I've already been through Ben Simmons in his rookie season when he had the Jones fracture and was out for the entire year. Had all sorts of different Joel Embiid injuries, had Markelle Fultz getting in motorcycle accidents. I mean, honestly, what else can fucking happen for this damn team?
Oh, Kelly Oubre getting hit by a car.
Yep. While riding his bicycle, of all things.
Yeah,
and then it coming out that might have been a lie. Like, what?
Literally. I know.
And the fact that our fucking GM had burner Twitter accounts just to talk shit on his own team.
That dude was such a dude. That guy was such a shady piece of shit even before we found that out, and it was obvious.
Oh, yeah. I hated Colangelo from the beginning.
Yeah, like going from the Hinkinator to him was just like, but
yeah.
Not good.
I'm also seeing Keith Pompey from the Inquirer. He just tweeted out something about like the timeline of normal hyperextensions. If it was mild to moderate and no ligaments were damaged, you can expect a 2 to 4 week recovery. But like this is for normal people too, not professional athletes that have millions of dollars worth of healthcare.
And cortisol shots.
Exactly. If ligaments are overstretched or partially torn, can take 1 to 2 months. So hopefully it's the mild to moderate, and we're only talking 2 to 4 weeks. If he has to miss the first couple games, it is what it is. As long as he's healthy for the rest of the season, I don't really care.
And literally, just I mean, and for him too, it's like just put on a compression brace,
right?
And like maybe it'll be awkward, but I mean, even just like not playing, just wear it so your knee feels more stable. Like just for your like the mental pot like side of it. Obviously, that can get in your head pretty bad.
Exactly.
No, Aaron. Oh my God. No. I thought Aaron Rodgers seriously just fucking pulled off another. He's calling that a touchdown. There's no way. There's zero chance. Brother, I swear to God.
It looked like Lazard came down with the ball.
But we need to see at what point does it get smacked away.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got control. Oh, that's a touchdown. That's clearly a touchdown. That's
definitely a touchdown.
That's 100. Oh my God. There's no way he could be allowed to keep doing this.
Why is it always Lazard?
Why is it always Aaron Rodgers? Like literally.
Well, that too.
The two to fucking Janis against the Cardinals in the playoffs of like what 9 years ago now. Randall Cobb in a game against the Giants and the Bears. Richard Rodgers against the Lions. Like, he's hit so many Hail Marys.
That's insane.
What the fuck, dude?
That is insane. So it's
Yep.
halftime, 20-17.
Wow, man. That's crazy. That's easily the best play we've had on Monday Night Football while we've been doing the pod. That won't get topped all year, I think. Holy shit, dude. What is going on?
Ridiculous.
That's incredible. I had a Lazard yardage prop, and he just covered it by like 50.
There you go. That's
And I-
2 birds, 1 stone right there.
Yeah, and I have Rodgers to be over like what, 229, and he's at 192 now with that. So I think he's gonna probably get there. So far so good, because I had Breece Hall to have 20 yards receiving. He got that on his first catch. The only guy who's kind of shooting me in the foot right now is Mike Williams. He doesn't even have a fucking target yet, I think.
Oh, God.
But he only needs 10 yards. Literally. I took like the lowest one that was there. So I'm like, can you just find him once and then we're fine?
Yeah, that would be nice.
Jesus. What a play. What a play.
But anyway, since we're talking about football, we can get into our week 6 picks and reactions here.
Yeah.
We both did quite well in week 6. I wish I picked the Thursday night game, because then I would have had a very nice week.
Yeah.
But
you know what's so funny? Your picks that you did submit
mhm.
are very, very similar to the ones I was going to make for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I had you taking Washington because of your pessimism. I literally was like, he's gonna pick fucking Jaden Daniels. I know he is, so I had it there. And then
Pretty much.
I had the Colts for you and Titans for me, because I figured that's one that was so tight, and we usually do kind of just for fun, like on the really close ones we go different.
Right.
I would have had Niners for you though. I think just Seattle coming off a loss to the Giants and then a short week was just ugly, and I was like, I don't know how you fix it quick enough.
I probably would have picked San Fran, but like since it was like Friday night when I did it, I was just like, I'm not going to take credit for that, but it's probably who I would have picked.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like a toss up, right? Because it's in Seattle, so you're like,
exactly,
that is part of it. It's a loud stadium, but
and
San
division
Fran
games are always different.
It's always like, yeah, it's a college rivalries. Like some of them you don't know what you're gonna get. Like,
exactly.
Like Texas Oklahoma was exactly how we thought this year.
Right.
Like Texas is just clearly better, but a lot of years it's like irrelevant, right? And it's the same with especially those kind of rivalries. Like Niners Seahawks is one of those. Like and it's just since Wilson left Seattle, it's been San Fran dominated pretty much.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Jacksonville, Chicago,
we week.
Both. Yeah. Oh, by the way, we're putting the videos now on Spotify. So for those who are listening on Spotify, you can also see the video if you want. Obviously, if you're driving, don't do that. Please don't. But you can also access our videos through our podcast feed on Spotify. Just search Sideline Specialists. You'll find us on there as well. But if you happen to be listening right now instead of watching, we both would have gotten 3 wrong if I picked Thursday night. I got 4 wrong just because I didn't pick the Thursday night one. So I am now up to 49-40. Tom is at 52-37. This is without the Monday night game, obviously, because that's going on. But we both picked the Jets in this game. As we said earlier, just went into halftime after an Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary, and it is 20-17 Bills. So that one's going to be a close one, most likely.
I think our biggest, if we're just looking at the picks, I think of our losses, the only one that like kind of surprised me was Denver.
Yes, especially.
Because,
go ahead.
Like, well, because it was like Gus Edwards is on IR, so I'm like, okay, I know Dobbins is going to get he's already been the lead back and he's been getting like the most carries and whatnot, but having multiple obviously offers you versatility. So I figured that would hurt them more. And then I think in the game, McConkey and Quentin Johnson both got hurt at some point, if not late, whenever. I think. Yeah. I might be wrong, but I mean, literally, it was just like I just have to give all the props in the world to the Chargers defense because I've been overlooking them severely because, like, and well, they were out. Asante Samuel Jr. was out too, so I'm like, okay, they're down like a big time corner too. So it just I figured Denver winning 3 in a row at home, but tough.
The thing that really sucked was I was like, look, Denver's defense like has been so good this year. I just didn't foresee them not doing well against the Chargers of all teams. And then Pat Surtain went out.
Yep.
And I was like, well, this isn't going to end well. Cuz like, it's like in the NBA when you have a lockdown defender and you literally draw up your defense where it's like, all right, whoever he's guarding, we don't have to worry about that guy because we're just putting that guy on him. We need to play rotational defense around the other 4. It's the same thing with Pat Surtain. It's like, yo, Pat Surtain's got whatever wide receiver that is. Let's focus the rest of you guys on everyone else.
Yeah.
So then the moment he goes out, it's like, well, now we got to worry about everybody.
Yeah. Well, and that's what's brutal too, is because you think about a team like the Chargers where their arsenal is not that scary realistically. Like Herbert's Herbert, and you need to be worried about what he can do against you regardless. But you went from having to worry about Mike Williams as a deep threat, Keenan Allen as a guy across the field who could just slice you up, to Quentin Johnson, Josh Palmer as the 1-2, and it's just not as scary. So when you have a guy like Surtain, you can literally just remove one of those 2 from the game completely. And then, like you just said, it's just you can just hound the other guys and frustrate them however you need to. And it just, I mean, they just didn't do that. And even after Surtain went down, it's like you got to step up. And you're at home with a chance to win a 4th straight, put yourself in a decent spot to kind of keep rolling. I don't know when their bye is, to be honest, but like, or if they had it already. No, they haven't had it already because they're what, 4? They're 3-3 now. So, like, I know they're frustrated. I think they are a decent team. I think we've seen that, but obviously with Surtain out, he's a first team All-Pro. It's not like it's not a normal like guy getting hurt. It's literally one of the cores of your franchise that gives you a better chance to win any game you play in. So it's going to be a big deal for the Broncos to be missing him.
Week 14.
Oh, that's late. Oh boy.
Yeah.
What is this Surtain injury? Do we know the extent of it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, yes, we do. It's a concussion.
All right, so probably 2 weeks. If it's severe, probably 1 week if he gets cleared in time. No, he'll miss the next game for sure because you pretty much always do.
Yeah, he's currently listed as questionable. It said the practice estimation for Monday was a non-participant, which is always obvious.
Yep.
But yeah,
he would probably just do walkthrough, like not touching anybody, probably not even putting a helmet on, like just do some motions if he's not like, because obviously there's different concussion grades, so we don't know how severe, but obviously still shitty because any game you don't have your number 1 corner, and he's basically the league's number 1 corner, you're gonna notice, and the opposing team is gonna go after whoever the hell is filling in, just like
for sure
by default. So let me just actually see.
And to be honest, shifting to the Colts versus Titans,
yeah,
I picked that game mainly because of the possibility of Flacco playing, because Richardson was still questionable. So, and I was like,
yeah.
I was like, Richardson looked better when he was in a little bit the last time before he went out again. But I was like, if Flacco plays, I don't see Flacco losing to Tennessee.
Here's this, but here's what happened with me. I looked at the Titans, and when I picked it, it had not been announced yet. I'm pretty sure that Will Levis was starting, and
okay.
I was thinking they would stick with Mason Rudolph because he's a better fucking quarterback, and I think we all know it. Apparently they don't, because they're still going with this one-man meme creating machine. And that's all he does. He doesn't win games. He just creates stupid pictures for the internet to enjoy until the next week when he creates a new one. And then this week, it wasn't even him. That I don't even know what defender it was, but there's the picture of Josh Downs sitting like this, and then the Titans guy literally looks dead behind him. You're like, of course. You're like that. Yeah, that's on brand.
There is another meme of Will Levis doing the Spider-Man celebration.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, dude, I was at work. That game was on. And one of my coworkers, we were just talking, and I was like, yeah, all he does is create memes, and then the next play was that, like the next play, and I was like, there you go, done. That check it off. He did it for the week. We're done.
Yep.
I just don't get it.
How in the world can you sign Calvin Ridley, and in the last 3 games combined, he has 2 receptions for 14 yards.
Yeah.
And in that Colts game, he was targeted 8 times. 0 catches because those 8 targets were pretty much all terrible.
Yeah. And that's what's like, because he went off, obviously, post-game, like, you got to get me the damn ball. And it's like, yeah, you do. Like,
right.
As much as people will probably be whining about him saying it because people are idiots, it's like they signed him to a deal that was very lucrative to be a part of the offense. And the quarterback that they refuse to just sit down and move on from can't put the ball anywhere like near catchable. And
exactly.
Yeah, and I look at the Titans too, like the defense has to be pissed off because they've been playing their ass off. Like, the defense is, there's a reason they traded for L'Jarius Sneed. They signed Chidobe Awuzie. They loaded the defense, and they've been performing up to the expectations that they had. And even like all these losses, it's not like they've given up 1,000,000 points. They've given up like 20 max, and the offense can't do a single thing. And it's like, because even in the opening week when the Bears beat the Titans, they were up big, and then Levis literally threw the pick 6, and there you go. Like, defense doesn't even have a chance to do anything. They just have to watch the game go away. So, And
it's like, and Ridley last season had over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns with 76 receptions. So you don't even need to give him a perfect quarterback, because he did that with Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And right now, through 5 games, he has 141 yards and 9 receptions. Like, that's just crazy to me. And the thing is, sure, some of his receivers are old, but you gave Levis Tyler Boyd as your 3rd, Calvin Ridley as your number 1, and DeAndre Hopkins is your number 2.
Yeah.
If you give any slightly above average quarterback those same 3 receivers, I bet you they're scoring a hell of a lot more.
Yeah. And you have Tony Pollard out of the backfield who can catch really, really well. It's like you have the arsenal, and that's like, but I look at Tennessee as just one of these franchises that they're just another one that cannot get the QB situation right.
Nope.
They had it right for a few years with Tannehill, but then because they couldn't get over this hump for a lot of reasons, not just him necessarily, he gets ousted pretty much from the league. And then Malik Willis had no chance to even prove anything. So I was super happy that Green Bay was like, yeah, we'll bring you in as a backup. And he got to play and played well.
Yeah.
Just to rub it in their face a little bit. And then it just makes no sense. I'm like, you have to understand that Levis is he's just not good. He's not developing. You can visibly see that he's not developing. So at that point, it's like, if you You either are accepting right now that we are going to stay subpar, stick with Levis because we would like a higher draft pick, which is shitty. That's never how it should be. Or you wake up and try to actually win games. And we're not saying Mason Rudolph's elite, but he's just better than Will Levis, and it's that simple. So,
Sometimes all a team needs is a game manager, and I know people like make fun of system quarterbacks and game managers, but there are teams out there, and I'm not saying this is the case for the Titans because it's a little bit more than that, but there are teams out there that have taken a system quarterback or a game manager quarterback and have won Super Bowls.
yeah,
Like,
period.
you don't always need the Patrick Mahomes. This just it's not 100% needed every time, and I wish teams would understand. Hey, this guy isn't working. We've given it enough time. Let's try another one who at least we know won't turn the ball over and can get it in the hands of the playmakers. That's it.
Like, think about Nick Foles winning the Super Bowl, right? I mean, it literally was a case of you had all the weapons anybody could ever dream of. Not because they were like Alshon being your number one. When he was the number one at that point, before a lot of injuries kind of derailed him, he was a number one. Period. Like, and then you had Ertz at tight end. You had Corey Clement, Trey Burton, LeGarrette Blount, Jay Ajayi. Like, you had every kind of running back. You had every kind of receiver. And all you need is a guy who can throw accurately, and that will be effective. Because Foles was not a runner. Like the Philly special is legendary because he is not a super freak athletic running quarterback. He's a good basketball player, but when you're wearing cleats on a field, it's different. So when you see that play, you're like, yeah, that's ballsy as hell, because you wouldn't ever think he's the guy to do it. And that's what's just so frustrating, because it's like, even I look at Baker. I look at Baker in Tampa. The reason that fit is special is because he finally gets the weapons to play his game with.
Exactly.
He fits there perfectly. And it is a matter of literally if the NFL is a puzzle and you're one piece, you're trying to find that spot you actually fit. And it's the same with Sam Darnold. You're seeing it now. And this year, almost more than ever, where these guys who had been just kind of chastised, pushed out of places, almost run out of the league. The Vikings are 5-0. Tampa just put up 51 fucking points. I mean, 27 of which were unanswered. I mean, it's just insane. So the Titans need to really wake up and just smell the shit they're shoveling, because their fans are just not going to put up with this. It's just it's unacceptable. They were a 1 seed, not even 4 seasons ago. That's recent enough. And then all the trades they made of players that helped them be that 1 seed out of Tennessee were very questionable, including AJ Brown of the Eagles. So
that will never make sense. Ever.
No, it's you really, really thought that not paying him and trading him away and drafting Treylon Burks was gonna somehow be good. Oh, Giancarlo Stanton just hit a nuclear missile. It is 5-1 Yankees, and I can check off Stanton because that's his first hit of the game.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Thank you, sir.
Sixers win the preseason game at least tonight, by the way, but hopefully Paul George is all right.
How'd our rookie do? I mean, I'll open the box.
Jared McCain did well. He had 11 points, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, shot 4 for 10. He was a +8 overall. So
yeah, 3 fouls,
16 minutes.
3 fouls and 16 is a bit much, but I'm hoping they were worthwhile.
And usually you get those kind of calls as a rookie. You get the ticky-tack fouls call on you and shit that. So,
but that's what I'm hoping they're effort fouls. You know what I mean? He tried to go for a ball and kind of just missed a little bit. It wasn't just some obviously mega bullshit, but obviously I'll see. I'll try and look up the highlights later anyway, because I haven't really watched much yet, but I should, because the team looks very different.
To be fair, I only watched a little bit here and there of preseason. So, I mean, at this rate, I think there's only one preseason game left, maybe two. I think it's only one.
Yeah,
But
we're like really close to the beginning of the year, so
yeah, I think technically the first game is like not not tomorrow, but the Tuesday after,
it's all
and
right. So the
then
first game of the regular season is Wednesday, October 23rd,
Wednesday. Okay.
at home against Milwaukee on ESPN.
Yeah, I knew we were
And we
playing Doc Rivers.
Yeah, we have two preseason left. We got tomorrow and then Friday. Or not tomorrow,
Gave us
Wednesday.
another. Oh, okay.
Wednesday and Friday. Sorry.
I was like, damn, we already had one preseason back to back. We got to get another one.
No, we're good. I just can't read. Yeah. Brooklyn and then Orlando.
Okay. But to touch on the teams that we had in our title here. So the first one, the Jaguars. Travis Etienne, shoulder injury, considered week to week. Don't really know what's going on there. We'll have to wait for more information on that. The defense has been hit or miss. Trevor Lawrence has like 2 solid games and the rest were pretty crappy. Evan Ingram came back, immediately had 10 catches, 100 yards, or 9 catches, 100 yards. But it's just like, I just don't understand their direction, and B, their game plans week to week. And like, I like Doug Peterson. However, I'm just sitting there sometimes and I'm like, did you guys really think this was going to work? Because
Yeah.
I mean, their wide receiver core, it's okay. I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. will probably be their best receiver for years to come.
Christian Kirk is not complete ass.
Right. I like Christian Kirk, especially as like a number 2, number 3 kind of guy. I'm not a Gabe Davis fan. He'll give you one good game and then disappear for 5.
And this was it. And that's the problem because it wasn't even that good. Like he only had 45 yards. The 2 touchdowns makes it like you'll see it and think, okay, but in my opinion, their best receiver in this game has to be Evan Ingram. He had 10 targets and 10 catches. That's like level of efficiency. Davis had 8, only caught 5. Obviously, 2 were in the end zone, so like congrats. But it's the same point. He was like that in Buffalo. He would literally have a 2 or 3 touchdown game, and then he wouldn't find the end zone for 8 weeks. And you're like, what the hell is that?
And 3 of those weeks would be 0 catch games.
Yeah, it would literally be like you could have had him on injured reserve, and it would have been the same result.
Exactly.
And it just it makes you look at the Jags like you guys know that like all of this data and tape is available. Like you know what he is, and you have this like Ridley left, so you need like, and obviously drafting Brian Thomas was a no-brainer. I think he'll be fine, but it is a matter of like they have their coaching hot seat right now too, clearly, because 1-5 is not even close to where they thought they were going to be for sure.
Tyler Bass missed another field goal, by the way.
Brother, this guy's so bad. That's what he gets for literally having ass in his last name. I mean, we knew it was coming.
Oh, I don't have a but sound.
There's fucking like, I swear, I look at people's names in sports and I'm just like, I don't think they're going to make it.
General Booty?
I mean, I'd rather specific booty than general booty, if I'm going to be honest. But
that's an all-timer name.
Oh, it's amazing, dude. I looked up the full list. I've looked up a full list of the best college names, and some of them are like truly unbelievable.
It's literally the Key and Peele skit. Like it's the exact same.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I wish I was a fly in the wall on any of those hospital rooms where they're like, what's their name? And then they actually unironically said any of these things. And we're like, I'm like, if I'm the doctor, I'm just like, no, pick something else.
Exactly.
Like I'll take the bullet, get fired. I don't care. Like, do not do this to your child.
Um,
Yeah.
but in terms of the Jaguars, I am trying to understand exactly like, do they need a better offensive line? Do they need better defensive backs? I mean, even like Josh Hines Allen is a great linebacker. I like him as a linebacker a lot. I'm not like, if you told me to name all of the defensive backs on the Jaguars secondary right this second, I honestly don't think I could,
I know I
because
couldn't. I just like
because I
straight
just
up.
don't. Yeah, like none of them
Yeah.
inspire me to remember their name.
This is not like 5 years ago where it was like AJ Boye, Jalen Ramsey, like they had guys
Right.
making Pro Bowls at it, like all across that defense. Miles Jack in the middle, like it was different. Like, and somehow they squandered all of these things. Because even like I think back to 2017, it was one possession away from the Eagles facing the Jags in the Super Bowl. Literally, like that is where they were. They made the AFC Championship and almost beat New England in Foxborough. Like it literally was. I mean, and then it's like, okay, so Bortles gone. You draft Fournette. It lasts 10 seconds. He goes and wins a ring with Brady on Tampa, and you're like, okay. And now he's literally like not playing anymore, which is just insane when you think about his level of like hype and athleticism coming out of college. But the Jags are just a franchise visibly in disarray because a lot of moves that they've made that they thought would be like franchise saving and altering have just not panned out. And it is unfortunate because it's good for the NFL when a team like Jacksonville is on that precipice of a like championship.
Yeah.
Like obviously, like we keep having dynasties. Like my childhood, it was the Patriots. Like that first, I mean, from literally age like 6 to 10, they won 3, and then the whole like late 2000s into the 2010s, they were always there. And then obviously once Brady left the AFC, finally it was just like the Chiefs are going to be there pretty much every year.
Yeah.
But we don't even have those duels because the whole time Brady was like that kind of dominant, he did have guys that he had to beat every year.
Right.
That were always there. It was always Big Ben's gonna give you a test and maybe beat you. Flacco, same deal.
Peyton Manning.
And then once Peyton left Indy, obviously stayed in the conference, but you had Andrew Luck to get through, and he was never easy. And it's just not like that now at all. Like the Chiefs really do look kind of like a standalone, especially when the playoffs come. Even if their regular season record is like not what it's supposed to be, and this year obviously it's perfect, so that's great. Right. But like even if they were like 3-2, it's like if they make the playoffs, they're just gonna beat teams. It doesn't matter. Exactly. Like you have to jump down their throat the moment the first snap happens and just keep your leg there. It's just
the two that Patrick Mahomes has to play are like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, but like
and then Joe Burrow
rarely ever plays both.
Yeah, but then he had 2 years in a row against Joe Burrow. Yeah. They split. And it's good that they split because you want that. But then the Bengals, like getting the second win is huge. Because like that game was tough last night, but the Giants defense has been playing tough. So it literally is just a case of they're playing really well. And I have to give them props. Obviously their offense couldn't do a damn thing. And even when they did have good drives, they would find a way to shit the bed late. Like we know what the Bengals offense is. Like even the game against the Ravens, they really gave that away.
Oh yeah.
And McPherson missed the field goal in overtime, but it should have never made it to OT because they were up 10 with not a lot time, like not a crazy amount of time left. And it's just, they know they're good, but it is
the bigger issue.
Oh, completely. And it was just crazy watching that broadcast last night and seeing that it's the same D coordinator for like the last 6 years. And I'm like, at what point do you just like realize that maybe this is not working?
Exactly.
Because 6 years is a fucking long ass time.
Yeah.
That surprised the hell out of me. And then even like obviously on Sunday Night Football, they show you the PFF rankings of most, if not all, the players when they introduce them, the starters.
Mm-hmm.
Only one I think in the top 30 was Hendrickson at his position.
Yeah.
Everybody else was
sense.
like way outside. I mean, some
Because
guys didn't
Hubbard
even
hasn't
rank.
been the same either.
No, I feel bad for him because he's had some injuries, and obviously it's different now for him. But they're one of those teams though that if they do find their way in as a wild card, nobody's going to want to play Cincy because the offense is just insane, and you know it is. But it becomes so much less insane if you have any pass rush at all.
Yep.
And that's what like their Achilles heel will be. And it's just a matter like of figuring out what the Chiefs one is.
No, there was one defender left. Fucking Brees Hall.
So big run that looked like probably a touchdown and the last guy gets him.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's a big run.
On the screen, it didn't even show like a defender. Like
he sneaks up from the bottom, and he's got the freaking Guardian cap on too. How do we not see him? His head is huge.
Now he's on the sideline taking a breather when they're in the red zone. Fuck.
Time for a touchdown by Braylon Allen.
Probably, and I'm down 9 points.
Watch him like sneak back on up. No, he's chilling over there. He's getting some. Give me my Gatorade.
All right, incomplete pass. Bring Brees Hall back in.
Yeah, get him. His breather has been breathed. Get him in.
Exactly. But so to wrap up our week 6 thoughts, there is the conundrum that is the Dallas Cowboys.
I think they're just ass.
I'm there with you.
Here's the thing you have to think about, right? It's like, okay, it's all well and good to have the 3 win. They have 3 wins. It's like, okay, you have 3 wins. That's fine. Not one of them is in Dallas.
Right.
And not only that, but 2 of the losses in Dallas, they got murdered.
Like ridiculously murdered.
Like Ohio State versus Akron, murdered. Like it literally is 47-9. 47-9. In your own building on Jerry Jones's old ass's birthday. Like, holy shit.
There are only 2 teams in the NFC with a worse point diff than the Cowboys right now. One of them is obvious.
That's why I'm running through all the Carolina. So
yep.
I was like, give me 1 second. I'm going through all the division like rankings in my head.
Yeah.
Arizona?
Not Arizona, but the right division.
Oh, so the Rams?
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's
only by 3 points.
I know
that difference.
I know Arizona's probably getting worse as the weeks go because obviously the Packers kind of demolished them too.
The Rams are at -45. The Cowboys are at -42. And the Rams are 1-4.
That's why it's mind blowing, right? And that's why I have to sit here and go like, okay, if you're a Cowboys fan, you cannot believe in this team.
No,
you cannot. Like, yes, you go on the road and you beat Cleveland. We know how bad Cleveland is now, so that's not like we thought their defense was going to be a thing that like had them winning some games, and they haven't been able to do that, even in close ones. And then the Saints went in there, just destroyed them. They have a tight game against the Ravens, but if the Ravens and Cowboys played again today, that game wouldn't be close because the Ravens are clearly clicking so much better now. And then you barely beat the Giants by 5, which I know the Giants, like I'll give credit to the Giants defense. That's why that game's close. But looking at previous years, it's like you've been dominating the Giants. So that's the kind of performance that they themselves should be expecting. And they didn't deliver that. And then barely beat the Steelers. That was a good comeback, but Dak still in my opinion, played kind of shitty in that game. I mean, like,
yeah,
I mean, I have to say this because it's hilarious. He's the first QB to throw an interception on 2 separate days in the same game, because that's really funny.
Exactly.
But it, like, all your wins are like against teams that are like the Steelers are good.
Yeah.
We like the Steel. We still got to give the Steelers credit because that defense is just bananas.
Right.
But because the offense couldn't stay on the damn field in that game, the defense was tired as shit, and the Cowboys finally broke through because they had so much time of possession in that game. And that is one of the things that can just screw you. But that's another one. I'm like,
that game was just so weird in terms
it
of
was so
weather and time, but it's crazy how it went from like the very first game against the Browns and they dominate the Browns.
Yeah.
To just like hitting the panic button, because it, like you said, if I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm panicking. Yes, they're 3-3, but they are 5 points and 3 points away from being 1-5.
Yeah. And even looking at like even looking at the Saints game, right? The Saints did that to Dallas with Micah Parsons in Dallas. And then the Saints literally have a losing record now.
Exactly.
Like, that's where we're at. It literally, like, they're 2-4, right?
Yep.
They won week 1 and 2, and then just so, yeah. If I'm Dallas, like as a franchise too, it's like, yeah, God. I mean, Jerry Jones is 82, so you probably have to wait at least 10, 12 more years until he's finally out of the picture. But if it goes to his sons,
yeah, that's terrible.
Then just chalk it up. I mean,
and right after the bye, the Cowboys have to play the 49ers. So
yeah. Oh my God, dude, bro, they're gonna get fucking shellacked. Brock Purdy's gonna go for $1 billion on them. Holy crap. Or do we want to do our week 7?
Or do you want to do picks or power rankings first?
Let's do power rankings first, actually.
All right.
That works. Oh my God, I found the worst game ever next week. Because like you said, the Jags are staying in London to play fucking New England.
Yeah, that game was bad.
Oh man.
All right.
Brutal.
I brought in 2 additions because they're the ones that have annoyed me the most. So Kyler Murray, I'm putting in ass.
Oh shit, I love it.
And
Can you add a new category below super ass that's just like evil dictator?
God damn. Oh, here we go.
And we'll think of somebody new like every week to add to that has just brought misery and pain throughout their entire franchise's fan base.
We got to make it pink just for the fun of it.
Yeah. It fits, man. I don't know what else to say. That is appropriate.
For those that might not be watching the video, I added Kyler Murray to the ass section and Jerry Jones to our brand new evil dictator section. Kyler Murray's annoyance to me is mainly fueled by fantasy football, but for somebody that has the weapons that he has, he should be doing a hell of a lot better, and it annoys the fuck out of me.
Yeah. Marvin going down is not going to help him.
No, not at all. He already took forever to throw him the fucking ball anyway.
I know, and it's so frustrating because you're like, what are you actually waiting for?
Exactly.
Like, you would have beaten the Bills if you could just see him, and I don't know how you don't see him because he's 6'4". Like, he's a big dude, and you wear red. Like, it's not hard, but like,
and
I
in
agree
that
with
game,
you.
I forget if it was that game or the game before. I said to my wife, I was like, all you have to do is throw the ball in his general direction and he's most likely going to catch it. And there was a play where Murray was scrambling around and he just chucked it down there and he caught it. I was like, literally all you have to do.
It's like that's what made him special at Ohio State was his contested catch ability. I have the first switch up if you want to do this real quick.
Yep.
We can move the Niners to playoff team. They are finally appearing to be clicking a little bit better. And we can move the Cardinals down to S to be right next to their leader there. I think is fully warranted. The Jags can go back to Super S because at this point we just I don't know how they get out of that now.
I don't either.
The Bears. I would actually be very willing to put the Bears in playoff team right now if they don't win the division as a wild card, because I think the trajectory that Caleb is on.
Do we swap them with the Broncos?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely acceptable at this point. Because if you're missing Surtain for any amount of games whatsoever, you're probably going to lose those games.
Oh, yeah. And the offense of Denver is the big question mark.
Yes, and I mean this week will be interesting. They have the Saints, and the Saints have lost 4 straight, so it is really like the over-under on this game is comical too. It's 37.5, which literally I'm laughing at that because the Saints alone scored more than that in their first 2 weeks, and then since then have just like been on another planet of shit.
Yeah, seriously.
We can move the Rams down too.
Yes, Rams can go down.
I'm actually the Chargers can go up.
Yeah,
because
I can do it.
That was a hard-earned victory. I think the Eagles can go up because they have a winning record again, and everybody's healthy. And I know that first game back was ugly, but AJ and Devontae did find the end zone, so clearly the contributions of the returning receivers was the difference in the game. And everybody ragging on Hurts still. It's like, yes, the start was a little slow. He did not turn the ball over. He had 264 yards passing. He hit very nice deep passes to both AJ and Devontae. And that really awesome run by Calcaterra, because obviously Goddard left the game, and then Mailata is going to miss a few weeks with a hamstring. But we've avoided the like major serious injuries thus far, which is obviously crucial. But you get Lane back, you can put Fred Johnson at right tackle, and Johnson. I'm trying to figure out how to put this. Like when you lose Lane, you lose games.
Oh yeah,
because left tackle's just or like that tackle or right tackle is just different, right? And with Hurts as a runner, Mailata obviously gives you so much, and not even just like playing ability, but energy. But his backup, I think, for the couple weeks that he'll have to be in there, will do fine. Goddard's the one I'm more concerned about. I would like to know kind of how severe that was, because he's been leading the entire NFL as far as tight ends in yardage this year. So,
yeah, that one's pretty important.
And actually, just to briefly say this, since we're literally on the Eagles, Nick Sirianni is a fucking clown and needs to shut his fucking mouth.
Yes.
The whole chirping at the fans thing. Like, how brain dead are you? And then brings his kids on to the press conference later to avoid any tough questions. Clearly. Because he's like, never done that, so let's not pretend you don't know what you did on the field. Like, everybody saw it, so you're going to try and hide now. This is Philadelphia. The fans are going to boo when they want to boo because they know you're better than this shit. And if you're the captain of the ship, you are leading us astray, sir. And at this point, I don't really know what he could say to justify his staying with this franchise.
Right.
It's extremely frustrating because the core of this team is the same one that made a Super Bowl in literally the 2022 season. Like the players are the same fucking players. Yes, Kelsey's gone, and that is clearly visible because Juergens had a couple snaps that were I think he was snapping to God, because whoever was back there, QB, would have needed to be like 20 feet tall to catch the damn thing. But it irks the shit out of me because, especially just what he said too. It's like, we don't like when they boo. We love when they cheer. It's like a lot of the players actually do like when they boo because they want to be held accountable. You don't. So if you're gonna say we like when they cheer, do fucking better, and they'll probably cheer more. Don't make it a game against Cleveland when your whole team was healthy. It's so dumb, and it's just driving me up a friggin' wall.
This was one of my favorite memes that came out of this whole thing.
I actually hope I haven't seen it because I really want this to be. Oh, and he looks, dude, his head shape is just an abomination.
He looks like Mastermind.
Dude, oh my god, hold on. I need to have Photoshop.
Oh my god.
Look up a picture. Sorry. Look up a picture of the fucking what is it, the xenomorph from Alien?
From Alien?
Literally, like the way his head, just the dome, like
That's
that
true.
shape is literally like identical to the front of their heads. Oh, Garrett Wilson with a nice catch. Holy shit, Garrett Wilson just stiff-armed DeMar Hamlin's helmet off his head.
Fuck, I need Garrett Wilson to stop doing that.
I know, but it's Aaron Rodgers, and he's like, once me and Wilson get on the same page, the NFL watch out. My ayahuasca will eventually help me, I swear. That's a good route. That's just a clean route, though.
For those that might not be watching, by the way, the meme has some of the Eagles players on the left saying, Coach Sirianni, please do something. And then it has Nick on the right saying, guys, look, I shaved my head.
Yeah. No, there's Brees Hall for 10 yards, but there's a flag. It's probably going to be holding on the offense because fuck anything positive.
Yep. So here's what I'm thinking about, though. Do we leave the Giants at mid? And do we leave the Jets at ass?
No, I think you switch the New York teams.
Okay.
Because the Giants are another team without a home win. Only wins on the road. And that's just, to me, that's like kind of unacceptable. Like when you're at home, you should be winning games.
Right.
Like there's certain teams that are just so bad that they're not going to. But, and you know what? Actually, we're going to do this for 1 week because his debut was phenomenal, in my opinion. The Patriots can move up one spot because Drake Maye played his ass off in that game.
Okay.
And if they suck next week, we can move them right back down. But he played extremely well, I thought. So,
I know the Dolphins were on a bye.
Yeah.
If they weren't, I probably would have moved them down.
Let me see. Let me look through everything here. Okay, I have another switch if you would actually be with me on this one.
Okay.
Move the Colts to where Dallas is.
Okay.
And then we can make Dallas go bye-bye because...
Move Dallas down?
Yeah, you can't be like bottom 3 in point diff. And
yeah,
like you said, I mean, it literally is just an abomination. Everything else...
you
can
kind
move...
of proposing Tampa Bay to playoff team because they just scored a shit ton of points.
Well, the other thing I have to think about too, right, is we can have a lot of playoff teams because there's 14 in the league.
That's true.
Playoff time comes around. So, and realistically, like Washington is a 7-point loss on the road against Baltimore. You're not ashamed of that at all. They played really well. And then Detroit Detroit, we could maybe even move up to Super Bowl contender at this point. That was just they're on a streak right now too. But it is just a matter of like,
we can give them that satisfaction for a week.
I mean, 47-9.
Yeah.
Obviously losing Hutchinson is massive, and prayers up to him because that injury was gruesome.
Yeah, it was.
Legs are supposed to be 2 parts, not like 7. So
yeah, and they're not supposed to be able to wrap around things.
Now he literally looked like Harry Potter in Chamber of Secrets when the dude put the spell on his arm,
Oh,
and his
yeah.
fucking arm turned to jello. Like, it was just not good.
Yeah,
The
that was
prayer,
ridiculous.
genuine prayers up to him, because he's a absolute unit of a player and a really good guy off the field.
Yep.
But I think there's certain teams that would have an injury like that to a star player and fold. They're not one of them, because David Montgomery's interview after the game was about as perfect and humble and like honestly heartwarming as I've seen. He literally was like, "Yeah, we're gonna do it for him." So,
Yeah.
they're cooking. Jared Goff looks like a number 1 overall pick. David Montgomery, yet another guy that has found exactly where he was meant to be the whole time.
And a lot of this is happening without Amon-Ra St. Brown like really doing all that much just yet. So there's another level that they can get to.
Yeah,
And
but it's
Sam
the
Laporta
beauty-
hasn't done much either.
It's the beauty of how much they have now. Like, it literally, because that is going to be a talking point, right? Like, oh, when does he get involved? It's like they might not need him to that much, and that's
Right.
crazy. But you look at, like, they had 19 catches for 334 yards.
Right.
That's an insane ratio. I mean, 17.6 yards per catch. Like, you get Jahmyr Gibbs 3 catches for 28. St. Brown 4 for 37. Laporta had that 52-yard touchdown bomb. Tim Patrick, who they signed off of fucking Denver's practice squad because he's been hurt for like 3 years. 3 catches, 68 yards. He is clearly fully healthy and ready to play again. Khalif, I mean, literally, they have so many weapons. So many. They're like as loaded in offense as there's been in the NFL for years. Every guy can contribute at a high level. And
we have
just
to remember that like Jameson Williams was a 12th overall pick.
Yeah. Who was hurt his first year. So you kind of forget him a little bit. Like you go, okay, let's see what he is when he comes back. Comes back last year, takes a little time to integrate, missed a few games, still played well and contributed, had the touchdown in the playoff game. And then this year he has clearly stepped up to a almost number 1 option in terms of like target share. So
he already has 11 more yards this season than he did all of last season in 12 games.
Exactly. It's just they're different. They are a different beast. They were really good last year. Almost made the Super Bowl in a game they genuinely gave away. And I really do not think that we will see that repeat itself because they are cooking. And that running back duo is by a significant margin the best in the entire league.
Oh, yeah.
There is not a 1-2 punch that comes anywhere near David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. What they offer athletically and then just their styles is just perfect.
For sure.
And they don't have any infighting where they're like, oh, I want more carries. They're just like, let's win fucking ball games.
Exactly.
So, and I love it because it's the same deal we were saying with the like when the team like the Jags are good, we're happy. The Lions being good is just good for football.
100% agree with that. I would have moved the Ravens up to Super Bowl contenders if they beat Washington by more.
I would have agreed with you because they're just like they shook the rust off and they've been looking exactly like what we all assumed.
Exactly.
They were. So that I literally think it is going to be a case of when they win their next game,
Right.
we just move them up because it's not going to be an easy one. And actually we'll have fun next Monday night because there's 2 games again at weird times. Why the fuck is there a 9:00? But anyway,
I have no.
That's not an easy game. Let's be honest here. That's a test for the Ravens, and
For sure.
but that's what you want. And I'm just gonna say this. I don't know who the Ravens GM is, but signing Derrick Henry for a total of what, $22 million?
Yep.
Easily the best deal in the offseason, in my opinion. 119 carries, 704 yards through 6 games. What
His
a
name's
beast.
Eric DaCosta, by the way.
There you go. Yeah, I just Lamar is Lamaring. Derek is Derekking. Zay Flowers is looking solid. Mark Andrews finally found the end zone. Kyle Hamilton tried to put somebody in a body bag. Who the hell did he kill? McLaurin? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think so.
That hit was insane. And it was so clean too. Like they could never throw a
Yep.
flag on it, but he murdered him.
Did you? This was 2 games ago. Did you happen to see the interview with Charlie Kohler, the third string tight end?
I did not.
And here we go. I'm gonna have to share the screen with this one.
Do it.
Let me bring that up because this is an
wait,
all-time quote.
Before you hit play,
Yep.
we were talking about hockey first, right? And the Avalanche, how they had like that, it just pathetic goal differential.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing the Islanders right now. I put this game on. It was 1-1. The Islanders are now up 4-1 in Colorado. So through 3 games, and this is the second period, by the way. Through 2 games and a period and a half, the Avalanche have now given up like 16 goals.
Good Lord.
And scored like 5. It's just, I don't know what the hell is in the water. Like, you have the 2 of the best players on the planet in Nate McKinnon on the Avalanche, and then obviously McDavid on the Oilers, and those are the teams that have the easily the worst goal diff.
Right.
It's just wild. All right, what did Charlie Kohler say?
All right. This is from 2 games ago when he scored a touchdown and Isaiah Likely scored a touchdown, but Mark Andrews did not score a touchdown.
It's beautiful. I mean, they get so focused on Mark and Isaiah, they forget about the fat white guy running down the seam. And man, I'm so open. I know what to do. And Lamar threw it. I got yelled at for not scoring again, so I got to fix that. But I think it was like a little chain reaction because I didn't score, so Isaiah could score. But then Mark paid me a favor and then got tackled too, so I could score. So I think beautiful day.
The fat white guy running down the seam. I love it.
They got so caught up with Mark, they forgot about the fat white guy.
What a legend! What a legend for that. Well, you know what? We could almost say that with the Eagles game when Grant Calcaterra ran that one for like 50 fucking yards, because it was just
True.
like that was so out of nowhere. It was after Goddard goes down, so you're like, oh shit, tight end situation's chalked. That's why I love that. But that even a little clip like that just speaks to the vibes of the Ravens, right?
Oh yeah.
It had like that locker room's got to be so fun because there's so many personalities, but they're all like positive. Because even Lamar is literally like this philosophical dude when you actually hear him talk to people in interviews.
That's true.
So I know he's spreading that, and then you just got like, oh my God, I know Flowers is a character too, and so I think
Marlon Humphrey is the biggest character.
Dude, I could picture him walking in wearing like 52 chains, and just
Marlon's podcast is hilarious just because of how like he doesn't give a fuck. So like it's just so funny what he says most of the time. But Charlie Kohler also one time had somebody give him cornrows and he came into the locker room with cornrows. And they
awesome.
went to, I don't remember what the event was, but they went to some event where they all got dressed up, and someone posted this because they said Lamar Jackson's two top receivers in this game, and here is the picture.
Oh my gosh. What a legend. Dude, it doesn't even look bad, let's be real.
No, it actually like
it fits his head.
I could believe him wearing cornrows from like an early age.
Literally. Well, because some guys you see it and you're like, that just doesn't fit your head shape. Like it just looks
right.
You know what I mean? Like just even if they're done well, which his clearly are, it's like that doesn't look bad at all.
Yeah. No, that guy's hilarious.
Yeah, that's like 10 out of 10 comedy. That's so good.
Oh, yeah. But with that being said, let's jump into our week 7 picks so that we can also get to our immaculate grid here.
Oh, bro, this week's interesting for a lot of reasons.
Oh God. Do you mean the grid or do you mean the picks?
The picks.
Okay.
Because there's just like a lot of games that I think genuinely could go many ways.
Oh, for sure.
So
All right. So the two bye weeks, we have Chicago and Dallas.
Dallas is so hyped to have that bye week right now, by the way.
Oh, hell yeah, they are.
Chicago probably is actually bummed unless Keenan out. Like, did Allen get like shaken up, or was it? Oh, it was DJ Moore. If DJ Moore can come back, like
I think he did get shaken up, but I think they said he was fine.
Yeah, but it's just for him, like to have a bye after a game where you got shaken up at all is
True.
a good feeling. Denver, New Orleans. Because this is a game. Literally, what do we expect? Like,
yeah, right off the bat, it is pretty difficult, especially if Denver won this past week like I expected them to. I would have easily said Denver in this game. But if Pat Surtain had the concussion, I don't trust Denver whatsoever if Pat Surtain is not on the field, to be honest.
yeah, but then and then the other half of that too is it's Spencer Rattler. So
true. However, I don't know. I didn't think Rattler was terrible.
I mean, I agree, but I also have to look and go, okay, so 22 of 40, 243, 6 yards per per completion, 1 tud,
Right.
2 picks, got sacked 5 times. So that's obviously going to contribute to a lot of those interceptions or incompletions and maybe picks. So like, if he's getting pressured that much, that's obviously a problem. And then even looking at Baker, like Baker's game was far from perfect. He had 3 picks.
True. Oh, I
So-
will say actually,
Oh, is Olave out?
yeah, Olave had a concussion too. He got jacked up right in the beginning of
Oh.
the game.
And this is a Thursday game, so he has 0 chance of playing.
Yeah, he had the head-to-head, the helmet to hit at where he fumbled the ball.
Yeah. It was I don't know if it was Winfield that hit him, but I think Winfield recovered it. Yeah, he got murdered. I remember I did see that hit.
So now that I think about that, I might
picking
go
Denver.
Broncos.
I'm going Denver, yeah. Because even like Riley Moss has been playing well. Shout out White Corners.
True.
They've had guys step up. Obviously, like this offseason, a lot of the talk was like Justin Simmons was leaving. So their defense was obviously going to be hurting a little bit because of that. And then like they've battled around it, like battled with each other. Obviously, Singleton being out with the ACL, that's a huge loss in the middle. Because he's a fucking animal. But I mean, like they've had some solid wins too. It's not like they lost by 7 to the Steelers. The Steelers are 4-2, so you can't really. They're not embarrassed about that. They're not.
Right.
They lost only by 6 to the Seahawks. So they've literally every loss is 1 possession.
They just desperately need the passing game to click.
But I think they shot themselves in the foot on that, like in that aspect of the game, like the ball, like. Seeing what Tim Patrick is doing with Detroit, they could have just kept him and had him, and it would have been another weapon for Bo Nix. And obviously they're going to be. Troy
Franklin did catch himself a touchdown last week,
and that's huge. It's a step in the right direction. And they're just going to need that. They're going to need like contributions from everywhere now because.
Yeah.
Receiving wise, obviously Courtland Sutton is their clear far and away number 1. He has 47 targets. The next highest is 26, and that's the running back, Javonte Williams. So those are mostly like checkdowns and screens. The wide receiver 2 is Josh Reynolds in terms of just target share with 19. And then third in targets is actually little Jordan Humphrey. But it's just they need to come up with game plans that allow for more offensive diversity and let Bo Nix cook.
Yeah.
Like let him use his mobility. He is a mobile guy. He is a like nifty guy when you let him actually try and get creative. And they need to protect him long enough because they've struggled with that a lot. Like he hasn't been sacked too much, but he's had to move from pressure too much. And
that better be one of their areas of focus going into next season.
Absolutely. Yeah. If they have an early first round, mid first round, it should be on a tackle.
Yeah.
And then if you want to double down, get a guard in the second. And like if you think, because I think Bo Nix has looked, I think he's looked good enough. I know the 5 picks is a little irritating. Like
Right.
that's not ideal. No, like you don't want that. But I look back at like Josh Allen's first season. He was trash, like in his rookie year, like trash.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, rookie quarterbacks are gonna throw interceptions.
Exactly.
Like it's just gonna happen. The big
Peyton
thing
Manning.
is watching it. Yeah. The big thing is watching a game and thinking, okay, is this rookie specifically throwing away games and they're losing because of that?
Yeah.
Or is the entire team still needs some things here and there, and the rookie's improving along the way? Like Bryce Young, you didn't see improvement along the way. On
exactly.
top of that, you saw Andy Dalton come in and completely like do perfectly fine that first game with all of the same receivers he had in the same offensive line. So there's just a big difference there.
And then I look at the so in the standings of the AFC West, obviously the Chiefs did have their bye. So their points for and points against do not include a 6th game like Denver's does. But Denver, as it stands, is 16 points in the positive, 112 points for, 96 points against. And obviously Surtain being gone will change the points against. We know that. But then this is like a really good matchup for them. Because if Olave's out, then both number 1s are out, and it's kind of going to be the matchups that it would have been anyway.
True.
Defensively, it's everybody else on everybody else that would not have been in that CB1 wide receiver 1 like lining up.
True.
So I think Denver, I think genuinely, I just like bluntly, they should win this game. Will they? We need to see, but I think they should win this game. Just trajectories of everything, like. It's not like they went into LA and got blown. Like, it's not like LA came in and blew them out. Like, it was a close, competitive game where Bo Nix led his team in rushing as well. So he really did clearly put in the effort to try and get this win. And then the worst game of the week is the next one. Jesus God.
Yeah, the London game. Jacksonville stays in London for a week and will play the New England Patriots. Honestly, with Drake Maye's first game, I'm picking the Patriots. I just, with Travis Etienne banged up and also not playing well on top of it, Tank Bigsby, you'll get a decent game one game, then a terrible game the next. Trevor Lawrence, never knowing what you're going to get out of him. The defense, also never knowing what you're going to get out of them. I just can't trust the Jaguars at all. And at this rate, I think I trust Drake Maye more than I trust Trevor Lawrence, which should not make sense because it's Drake Maye's second start ever.
But it does make sense in like we have seen so much of Trevor Lawrence that like at this point, can we not just say this is who he is with the current coaching staff?
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to just completely throw him under the bus because we've done that with other QBs that are now thriving. But that staff probably won't change soon enough for him to maybe get developed in a positive direction, if that is still possible. And for Drake Maye, I'm looking at him going, okay, you had 3 tuds in your first professional game against a team that in the offseason was a Super Bowl contender by everyone's measure, right? So you come out, that was your debut. Right. And now you get to play an international game against a very struggling Jacksonville Jaguars. I will also pick New England. Because I do want to see Drake Maye get a dub.
Same.
I think it would be pretty cool.
So then we move on to an NFC East classic. Eagles at the
Yikes. Boy, oh boy.
So I'm picking this based on what I think that Eagles fans would actually like to happen rather than what they want to happen, if that makes sense.
Saquon for 200 scrimmage yards and 4 tuds in New York.
I mean, that's what they want to happen.
Yeah.
What they would like to happen deep down, the Giants win so that Nick Sirianni gets fired.
Yeah.
Directly after the game and told, don't even come home, stay in New York.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm picking the Giants.
I can't disagree with your thought process there. This one's tough for me. This one actually is really tough for me. Because even just measuring it against the way they just held the Bengals to 17 points, and it took a Joe Burrow 50-yard fucking tud run to even score to begin with, on a completely broken offensive play but they drew the whole defense to the left. It literally, that play was just so whack that as soon as Burrow looked up and saw the open field, he was like, holy shit, and just went. Even stats in this game, it's obviously I think this last game for Hurts was his best. Obviously, I think it has to be. He didn't turn the ball over. So you take that into account, you try and move forward. I am going to pick the Eagles, and I swear to you, this will be a 1 or 2 point game.
Okay.
It'll be very similar to the Bengals Giants, but the Giants will be able to score more than they did against Cincy. Because I think Daniel Jones just sold that game. They had a really smooth drive going, and he just threw the worst fucking air ball that was the easiest pick I've ever seen. And it's just you inexcusable, but it was a winnable game for the Giants.
Right.
Pretty much the whole time. And then, I mean, I think the biggest thing to me is going to be the Eagles defense, because Cooper DeJean in his debut played really well. Probably the best player on the defense for the Eagles. He's going to probably get Wan'Dale Robinson in coverage the most. And then Quinyon will be on Darius Slayton. And Q hasn't given up shit all year. So if I just look at the potential matchups one-on-one of the secondary versus what the Giants will be fielding, because I think Neighbors and Singletary are probably still out, I'm going to take the Eagles, because I think it is literally a case of A.J. Brown is not coverable, and we've seen that. And then Devontae shook the rust off with that touchdown run. But again, I think if there's an over-under of 41 points for this game, I'm going to say the total that gets scored is 32. It's going to just be low.
I got you.
So I'll say Saquon does have a good game, but not the kind of game he wants where it's a revenge game. I think it'll be just good, not great.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to have it in the back of their minds to stop Saquon at all costs.
Yeah. But that's exactly what I mean. It's literally if Thibodeau's back, he'll want to stop him a ton. Brian Burns had a really good game against the Bengals. He's obviously going to be doing his best too. But I want to believe the Eagles can get some momentum, but also it's divisional, and it's with where the records are at across the division. It's a must win.
Right.
It's just all division games are must wins, just regardless. But literally where it's at right now, you have Dallas in a bye at 500. We're 3-2. You could go to 4-2. That's just, it feels way better to be there than just tied with them.
For sure.
And then obviously Washington just clearly at this point being overall the best team in the division. Clearly.
Which is what everyone expected.
Dude, I expected Jaden Daniels to be as good as he is. I didn't know it was going to have this much of an effect.
I know. I agree.
So
So that brings us to Seattle at Atlanta, which is an interesting game. However, I just don't have any faith in Seattle's offense anymore because I don't know what the fuck they're doing. And it was funny because there was a lot of talk about Seattle finally changing the offensive coordinator, but then you see some of these games on offense, and it's just kind of head scratching some of the things they decide to do. And Geno Smith just is like, I don't know. Some days he looks like a very competent starting quarterback, and other days he looks like he's Zach Wilson. Like I just don't, I really don't understand how it flips back and forth so often, but so drastically at the same time. So
and I have to agree with you with the offensive thing that you were saying.
yeah,
Like you did did you hear the coordinator before their last game against the Niners? He was like they asked him like what do you think you could do to fix it? Give Ken the ball more, as in like Walker.
yeah,
Why would you do that against the Niners?
right.
Like, why is that when you're going to start? It literally, like, they have one of the strongest D lines, interior D lines in football. Like, that's the worst team to start running. Like,
and one of the best linebackers in the entire league,
if not the best, in Fred Warner. Like, literally, it's just like it just made no sense. And even in that game, you look at Geno, and it's like he had 312 yards because he threw the ball 52 times, and like I'll say 15 of those 22 incompletions were like miles away from any receiver ever being able to catch it. And it is frustrating. And that's why, like, when you said sometimes he looks like Zach Wilson, I'm like, yeah, because you can't be a guy leading the league in yardage, but still miss these kind of throws when you have the receiving core you have. There's no excuse.
Exactly. This is another instance where like the weapons they have are so good that there's no excuse to not be putting up points. You have DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith-Njigba. Like,
yeah,
there's no excuse.
And especially looking at, like, I always look at DK Metcalf as just the AJ Brown of the West Coast, because he is just this imposing, strong, physical, fast, like deceivingly fast receiver. Because you see a guy his size and you're like, no way. And then you saw him chase down Budda Baker a few years ago and you're like, what the fuck is this dude eating?
Exactly.
But then you remember it's like, yeah, they went to the same school, because that's what Ole Miss does. They like breed these kind of like receivers for the NFL. Like, this is the style that Ole Miss as a school likes. They all have a style. And then obviously Smith-Njigba out of Ohio State, you're like, you have everything. Lockett is just so reliable, and he always has been, as long as he stays healthy. Kenneth Walker is a weapon being underutilized, and just because we're bringing him up, it's the same deal as Breece Hall. But Breece Hall, they decided to just let loose tonight, and guess what? He's got like 160 all-purpose already. So it is just like, it's boggling, because they've addressed O-line in drafts, and yes, they've missed on some of them, but it is a bit better. They are a frustrating team. They do have some injuries, and I will always just like mention that because it matters, especially on the defensive side, and that's obviously going to hurt them against a team like the Falcons. So I'm probably going to take Atlanta here because it's in Atlanta.
That's what I was going to do. And I don't know. I just like Kirk Cousins is fun lately.
I completely agree with that. He's been vibing.
And like Bijan and Algier are playing to like the best of their abilities. Kyle Pitts is finally getting in on some action. Darnell Mooney has been good. Ray McLeod has been good. Like
Drake London's had some very good games.
Exactly.
They're just, but they're like, I don't know why it took them so long to figure out a balance with what they had, because they are literally another team. It's like we knew exactly what they had. And we even said it last year, just thinking about it. It's like, if they didn't have Desmond Ridder, this team probably would have made the playoffs. Period. Because they have every kind of player for every kind of situation. Like Drake London's a super tall receiver, can move pretty well, loves to go for jump balls. You have Kyle Pitts, who is just an athletic freak who happens to play football. Bijan, same deal. And then Algier just gives you all the other traits you want in a running back. And then bringing in Darnell Mooney has just been such a good fit. And it's cooking now. So I think Atlanta they're just going to keep rolling. I mean, they've had some tough tests. The first couple tests, they barely scraped by. And as it's going on, they've been just getting by much more.
And it would have been crazy if Rondale Moore didn't get hurt. That would have been insane. That'd be your speed guy right there.
Yeah, and then you could have him on punt returns, or like have the two kickoff returners back. Like he is a very versatile player that they do miss for sure.
Exactly. And I think I know what we're going in this next game, Tennessee at Buffalo.
I can't imagine a world. The only thing I could imagine in this game. Does he still not have a pick? Did he throw one tonight yet or no? Josh Allen.
I don't think he threw one tonight.
I don't think he did. So that's the one thing in my head that would keep Buffalo from winning is the Titans secondary. Just because the receivers that the Bills have, we still know they're not like unbelievable. And I say this as Mac Hollins has a ball bounce right off both of his fucking hands. Like nailed that. That's great. Because even tonight, like looking at numbers, he's got, let's see, he's 19 to 25 for 215. That's genuinely to bounce back from last week to this. That's very impressive. Leading receiver though is fucking Ray Davis, a backup running back. Like that's where we're at. So, this game's actually, it's a lot tougher to pick than I thought. Because it literally, if it's going to be Will Levis, I'm obviously picking the Bills. But if they had announced, Mason Rudolph's going to start, I'd say, that makes it a little more interesting because
it does make it more interesting. However, I just don't.
He just sucks less.
Yeah, I just don't see Buffalo losing this game, especially if they lose. If they lose tonight against the Jets, they'll be even hungrier for a win. If they win tonight against the Jets, they'll be on a high and be at home.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it's going to be always Buffalo.
Yeah.
But there are reasons that Tennessee could give them trouble for sure.
For sure.
Just
for sure.
All pretty much only on the defensive side. But
so then we go on to Cincinnati at Cleveland.
All right, I'm taking Cincinnati. I
am too. I don't trust a damn thing that the Browns do. The only way I would change my pick is if they came out right now and said Jameis Winston is starting. It's the only way I would change my pick right now.
I think I would probably still. I mean, yeah, that would completely like alter the way the game would even look. But go ahead.
There is a chance Nick Chubb plays this week. I will point that out.
I'm still taking Cincy just because, like, even despite their record, Joe Burrow is having an exceptionally good season. And I just don't trust Cleveland's ability to score. I just
agreed.
And it just comes down to that. Like, will it probably be a closer game than it should be? Realistically, yes, because that's just how it's been this year, especially for Cincinnati. They've just, even in losses, it's close. So, yeah. Ooh, this next game is fucking nice.
Yeah, Houston at Green Bay is a really interesting game.
Alrighty.
Houston, so I will say, Houston has been like teetering back and forth sometimes with some games where I'm like, they should be blowing this team out.
Yeah.
And obviously they still don't have Nico Collins, but Tank Dell stepped up as we all expected him to and had a very good game. And they welcomed back Joe Mixon with very open arms because he was a huge part of that offense before he got hurt and had to miss a handful of games there. Now they still won 41-21 last week against the Patriots. Drake Maye still, like we were talking about before, he still looked pretty decent. Had some nice flashes and everything. However, obviously, the Patriots and the Packers are two completely different teams.
Yeah, I'll be real. I'm taking Green Bay in this game.
Okay.
I am. I think the way that they looked yesterday, it's clear their locker room has come back together a lot. Obviously, Romeo Doubs had been suspended for a week by the team itself
Right.
for just disparaging remarks and whatnot. And he came back, had 3 catches, 2 touchdowns. They had that big old group hug in the end zone. Like, it's clear he has spoken to the team and apologized. Like, it that was evident to me.
Right.
And Jordan Love had statistically, very, very good game. Let me see exactly. Just remind myself exactly what his numbers were. 22 of 32, 258, 4 tuds. And they're just loaded. That is another team that literally, it's like, we needed to see these receivers do things to know who they were, right?
Right.
Like Jaden Reed, stud. Christian Watson, when healthy, pretty damn good. Dobbs, same deal. It's a lot of weapons. Tucker Kraft at tight end, solid. Josh Jacobs in the backfield. Obviously, we know exactly what he is and what he provides. Will it be an easy game? No. This is two of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL going toe to toe. If I had to guess, I'd say offensive shootout. Bet the over immediately because both quarterbacks have been putting up numbers.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going Green Bay. I just think in Green Bay, I'm gonna
if that's the case, I think I'm going to take the Texans.
There you
To
go.
change some things up.
Yep.
B, Will Anderson Jr. is a beast.
Yes, he is.
That man is insane. And I think he can get to literally any quarterback on any team at any given moment. So I'll go with Houston on this one. I'll go with them. With that being said, that takes us to Miami at Indianapolis.
Joe Flacco.
It's going to be rich and it's going to suck, but
I know. But it's also, I don't think there's still no word about Tua, which makes it a little more difficult. So the last news piece I see here says he's expected back at some point this season, but it will not be week 7. So
heard.
Tyler Huntley is still expected to start. And Miami's offense just has looked so fucking bad. And Devon Achane, I think, is also still questionable. Yes, questionable with a concussion. He was back at practice, but wearing a non-contact jersey today on Monday.
Okay.
So if you don't have Achane or Tua, and you have Tyler Huntley throwing the ball, Mostert did play in the last one, but he really didn't do much. Tyreek obviously still there. Waddle obviously still there. I don't know. Whether it's Richardson or whether it's Richardson or Flacco, I'm going the Colts.
Because even like before Richardson got hurt, he was finding Alec Pierce on deep balls. His completion percentage is shockingly bad. We have to just say it.
Yeah.
At any given moment, it's horrendous. And that could bode very poorly. Like this could be a game to bet on, like literally a pick 6 by Jalen Ramsey. Like that's the kind of situation we're in. But
yep,
it's in Indy. The Dolphins for another season, unfortunately, are just absolutely plagued beyond all belief by injuries. I think Indy is it's the right choice for a lot of reasons.
Agreed. This is my game of the week. Detroit at Minnesota. This game is going to be super fun. Obviously, we saw Detroit just beat the brakes off of the Cowboys last week. Minnesota still 5-0, and their defense has been great. Their offense has been great. They're coming off of a bye, So they even get a nice little week rest in there. I'm taking Minnesota, not only because of the bye, but the injury to Aiden Hutchinson, I think, is a big impact for Detroit's defense. He is actually the NFL's leading sack or sack leader, I should say. So I'm going to go the Vikings here, but I think this game is going to be very, very fun.
I'm going Detroit.
Okay.
I think it's the Vikings' first loss.
I like it. I like it.
I look at, all right. So I mean, last year it was obviously still, it was Cousins for one of the games, and then I believe he got hurt before the other one.
Something like that, yeah.
And the Lions won both by almost the same score. And I saw this the other day, and I was like, it's too ominous, and I'm gonna eventually have to just pick against the Vikings. But in 2016, they started 5-0, had a week 6 bye, and then missed the playoffs.
Jesus.
Yeah, their QB1 was Sam Bradford. Yeah.
Good old Sammy Sleeves.
God, dude. Least swag in NFL history.
Oh, by far.
Every time I see that, there's literally anytime there's a post, it's like, who had the worst swag? It's always just his smiley ass. And I'm like, yep, that's on point.
Yep.
And it's always in the Eagles jersey too, because it just looked the worst with the style he had.
For sure.
I just for the Lions to win the way they just won. I mean, Jesus Christ. And then like the secondary is just like, it's looking obviously really good. I agree with you. Hutchinson is a like generational pass rusher as far as this recent period of drafts. Massive loss. They will feel it whether they want to or not. And lack of pressure on Darnold could mean the secondary struggles a bit more because he'll have more time to really make safer throws.
Right.
And we know what the weapons are like, but Jared Goff has just looked nuts. He's looked like nuts.
True.
And then the run game is cooking. For me, it's going to be too much. There's too many different players to worry about. I think
Makes
it literally will be a game that's like whoever has the ball last wins.
Yeah. I agree.
Whether that's to take kneel downs or go down the field and like score. Like literally, it's just, yeah. And I cannot wait to see that. And I swear to God, if we are robbed of that as the like game of the week at 4:00, I'm gonna punch somebody in the fucking throat. Is that a 1:00 game? It is. It's a 1:00.
Yes.
That better be on. Fuck. All right, I'm just gonna watch a replay then because the Eagles will be the game that's on here, of course. So.
Oh yeah, true.
Unless it's Fox too. Fucking.
I'll probably be
NFL,
watching Red Zone, so I'll just see it when it comes up.
NFL, can you please just bump that to Sunday Night Football so we don't have to watch the fucking Jets Steelers in a game that's going to be like 22 combined points because both defenses are nuts?
Well, that was the crazy thing is this past week, like Ravens Commanders was really a 1:00 game also.
Yeah. And
like that was ridiculous.
Apparently like everybody wanted that game bumped into the Sunday night slot and then the NFL was like, no, it's like, you're dumb as shit. It's the Battle of the Beltway. Like, and it actually feels like a battle potentially.
Right.
Yeah, they're blowing
Rookie
opportunities
phenom,
here.
2-time MVP. Like you have all the storylines.
Yeah. The proximity alone is like it meant something. Yeah, it's just classic. I mean, yeah, because our game of the week I just saw it 4:25 Chiefs fucking Niners. So hooray!
Yep. Which should still be a good game, but I'd rather see Detroit, Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm fucking sick as hell of watching those two fucking teams.
I know. I agree.
Like yeah.
So the next game, a pretty boring game to be honest, but Las Vegas at the Rams. The Cooper Kupp could play this week. Nothing like guaranteed, not even like a trending towards the right direction. They just said could play. However, However, the Raiders' run game sucks.
It's an abomination. And Zamir White's questionable, so it's going to be even worse if he's actually out.
Exactly. Pass game minus
Sucks.
Brock Bowers sucks.
Amen to that. Brock Bowers, all the respect in the world to that guy. He's
Yep.
for a rookie to come in looking as just like complete as he does. Like we all thought it because we knew he was going high in the draft, but I think he's actually exceeding expectations, which is insane. Like,
and the Raiders defense, which we had some very high praise for in the preseason coming into this year, also sucks. So, however, Diablo did come back and Diablo looked pretty good. So that is at least an addition for them. But I think I'm going to go Rams here, even though they're banged up. I mean, there is the possibility of Cooper Kupp. However, I think I'm taking the Rams regardless.
I think I am too. And I know like we like changing things up. We have 3 that don't match. I'll make this one match. The Raiders, there's the clip of Max Crosby shoving one of the coaches.
Yeah.
It's everything is just falling to shit. Like he was like Mr. Raider and now it looks like he's having his own problems and it's just not.
And it's crazy how it went from like super good vibes at the end of last season to now literally just crumbling apart.
It's just wild. Like I can kind of on Devontae Adams' behalf, I can fully understand it, right?
Oh, I agree.
Like you spent the whole beginning of your career in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, so you knew what it was like to have that quarterback you could trust to find you and put the ball where you need it. And the Raiders have not given him that, even with Derek Carr for that little bit. Like it was just not there. So,
yep.
I get why he wanted to be traded, and then there was a thing this week that was like maybe he won't be, and it's like, okay, well, he's going to leave eventually somehow unless you guys pull off like a fucking miracle and get a QB in there.
Exactly.
Yeah, just honestly, even just off vibes alone, Rams should win this game.
Oh, agreed. Completely agreed.
Oh, what in tarnation did I just witness right now?
What happened?
What was that fucking play? Do you have the game up or no?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so I'm going to try and explain as best as I can.
Oh, God.
So Aaron Rodgers just threw a absolute missile downfield. It was a bit short, like a bit short. Mike Williams stopped, slid, was laying on the ground, reaching out to catch it. Catches it. The Bills defender is literally like sliding towards him and just takes the ball. Just takes it.
What?
Like, freakiest fucking weird looking play I've ever seen in my life. But whoever that defender is, 10 out of 10 play. 10 out of 10. Sick play. Because by all means, based on what I just saw, Mike Williams turned around late. Kind of panicked, fell over, reached out while laying down. He was laying on the ground and like fully extended to like kind of posture up and catch the ball. And as he caught it, you see the Bills defender come like sliding into frame and just yoink it from him.
Damn.
Yeah. So there's under 2 minutes left now, and it's, as far as I know, it's going to just be Bills' ball. I don't think there's any way that could be disputed or overturned in any way. So, and Mike Williams somehow got hurt while laying down on the ground, so that's funny too.
Classic.
3 targets,
Classic
no
Mike
catches, and gave up a pick. Good job, buddy.
Anyway,
enjoy the bench. Yeah, brutal.
Yeah. Carolina, Washington. Yeah, we both know that's a Commanders W right there.
Oh, Avalanche gave up another goal.
Jesus.
This is getting wild.
So we got Kansas City, San Fran. Kansas City coming off a bye. Look, I don't want Kansas City to win, but Andy Reid coming off of a bye
doesn't lose
is Literally the most unstoppable thing I've ever seen. So I'm going Kansas City.
Oh god. Yeah,
Literally just based off of that. I'm not basing it off of anything else.
he's 17-3 after the bye.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Actually, that's a lie. He was 17-3 after the bye in 2018. I think he's like literally like 24-3 or 23-3. He's fucking bananas.
Oh my god.
So all right, hold on. What are their injuries, if any? Because that's the only thing that would make me even like want to pick the Niners in this game.
San Fran might not have a running back.
True. Well, the guy that came in for fucking Mason had like 11 carries for like 99 or some shit too. So I don't even know what the hell is going on with them.
Orlando.
Yeah. Because I'm looking at the Chiefs. No Rashee Rice, no Clyde Edwards-Helaire, no Isaiah Pacheco, no Hollywood Brown.
True.
Kareem Hunt it was a smart signing. It pissed me off because I'm like, of course they fucking remembered him. Assholes. Yeah. Let's see. Let me see their numbers. How did they look? Pretty good. Oh man, this is brutal. This is actually brutal for me mentally because I'm like, there's so many reasons to think the Niners could win this game.
Oh, and the Niners don't have a kicker.
True. Yeah, they need to figure that out. Find somebody, practice squad, elevate him, then just get rid of him again.
And Hufanga's on injured reserve.
Yeah, I'm going. Okay, so yeah, Moody's out. The dude with the longest name I've ever seen. Shavarius Ward's out. That's big. But he's practicing Monday, apparently.
Pearsall's practice window was opened.
Okay. He won't play for like 3 weeks, but that's good.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'm gonna just take the Niners, man. I have to believe that they're just gonna be playing with a level of energy in this game because of the Super Bowl loss.
Right.
Well, 2 of them. I mean, literally, if you go back even more years.
True.
So, I mean, literally, like, there's just animosity here. It's in San Fran. They've already choked a game there to Arizona. I know they don't want to do that shit again. So,
that's true.
I'll just take the Niners. It'll be like a Fred Warner clinic. Hopefully, Travis Kelce doesn't do a fucking thing. Yeah. And that just makes it fun too, because obviously that is one of the games that everyone's gonna want to see, really, because of the Super Bowl. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
I'll just take Purdy.
I'm gonna do the last 3 here pretty quick, just because I'm gonna need to get to bed. But Jets at Steelers. Honestly, this wouldn't have been tough for me 2 weeks ago. I probably would have said the Steelers, but the Jets are playing decent at this very moment. They're not great, but they're decent. However, Aaron Rodgers is not getting away from TJ Watt.
I agree.
So I'm going Steelers.
And it's just, even with what the Jets have, their offense just like cannot actually put a full balanced game together. Because we're seeing it right now. It's like Breece Hall's going off and they're still not winning. So I will also take the Steelers because I think literally they're just going to be all over him. And then it's like you have Breece Hall doing well tonight. He will not do that kind of shit next week. Trust me.
No, he will not.
So
that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then we got Baltimore at Tampa Bay. Usually I love picking against the Ravens. I mean, because that way also I'm never that sad. I get my pick right if they lose, but then if they win, then they win. However, I do think I'm going to pick the Ravens in this one just because I think they will be able to force Baker Mayfield into some mistakes, just like the Saints did, except they won't give up 50 points.
Yeah. I'm 100% picking Baltimore here. They've shown improvement every game in some way.
Yep.
Derrick Henry is now fully a part of this offense. They are using him the way that he wants to be used and the way he should be used. Zay Flowers always gives you like 5+ catches a game. You have a trio of tight ends who are capable. It's just logically, and then the defense is just out here murdering people again. It's like Ravens of old with Kyle Hamilton just executing. The way he hit McLaurin literally was so textbook. And just even matchup wise, he is a big, tall safety against a team with a big, tall receiver.
Yep.
So I think if matchups are what make games, then Baltimore definitely should have this win.
Agreed. Then we finally get down to the weird ass 9 p.m. Monday night game, the Chargers at Arizona. And I'm tired of Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. I'm picking the Chargers, and they probably will not have Marvin Harrison Jr. So another reason why I'm picking the Chargers.
I'm taking the Chargers because their defense is just going to make Kyler look like a fucking fool. Period. And it's clear that their defense is elite. It's crystal clear now. I mean, even in the loss to the Chiefs, they held them to 17. And that was like a tough, hard-earned 17 for the Chiefs. The Bills are taking the kneel downs ball game. God, the Jets fucking blow.
The Jets had a chance.
Oh, they had plenty. I'm not gonna lie. I love this. You fire Robert Saleh, and then you get to just lose again in a game that was pretty much always in reach. You got 114 yards out of Allen Lazard. You got 107 out of Garrett Wilson. You got 169 all-purpose for Breece Hall, and you still can't win? Got it. Yeah, well, props to Josh Allen because he's just fucking better. I will bring up Immaculate Grid, and then we can call it a day right after that if I could freaking find the button because I suck. Here it is. It's the funky one.
All right.
It's a very funky one. I'm like, my head is just convinced that there is a running back that played for the Bills and the Dolphins. My head is screaming that at me, and I'm trying to remember who it is.
I think I know who it is. However, he would also count for the 5,000-yard career. And his name is Frank Gore.
So we want to do Bills Frank Gore or Niners Frank Gore? Because did he not? He played for both.
He also played for the Dolphins.
Played for the Jet. Okay. Yeah, but the Dolphins being up here, this is why it's tough. I'm like, we could just do
I know.
Niners.
So he can fit in 4 blocks.
Do we want to do a different Niners running back?
Wait. Frank Gore also played for the Jets.
For the Jets, yeah. He did.
He literally fits on this entire fucking grid.
It's the Frank Gore grid. Oh, I can do Matt Forte right here.
Oh, there you go. Good, a non-Frank Gore.
Or Brandon Marshall, we could have done there too.
Ooh. At the very end of his career, didn't LaDainian Tomlinson play for the Jets?
Yeah.
We could put him at 5,000 plus rushing.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do like Curtis Martin too, but
Curtis Martin too.
Oops. Why are you not giving me the suggestion, Immaculate Grid? What is this? Please. Thermal.
Oh yeah.
And I guess we just do we do Gore here, or is there like another, like an older Hall of Fame back that they had that we would rather do?
Trying to
Roger
does Christian-
Craig?
Does Christian McCaffrey have 5,000 yards yet?
He might have 5,000 all purpose. I don't know if he has 5K rush.
That's a good point.
Hold on. Actually, just out of curiosity, I think I'm going to just put Roger Craig, but
Okay.
I want to see McCaffrey if he's he probably does have that stat. Who are we kidding? Yeah, he's got a 62 hundo.
Oh, all right.
Good for him. Let me just ensure that Roger Craig is not somebody that I should be like not doing. Pretty sure it's the safest shit I've ever said in my life. Yeah, it is. Okay.
Yeah, we can definitely put Roger Craig.
We'll just do Hall of Fame running back Roger Craig. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Get in there, big guy.
So I feel like I could come up with more Bills and Niners players than I could Jets and Dolphins. So maybe put Frank Gore at Jets and Dolphins.
Okay. I think I have one for Bears Niners. Let me confirm. I think Leonard Floyd.
Oh yeah.
So we'll do him there.
Bears and Bills is definitely somebody that I'm thinking of.
You know what would have been hilarious, and I wish we did it. So I looked him up. To see if he was at any of these matched. We could have put actually, hold on. Jets. No, they're next to each other. Never mind.
I actually did think of another. Wait. Oh no, Dolphins Bills.
Yeah.
Mac Hollins.
Yeah. Yeah. That tracks. Bears Bills.
Yeah, there's someone in Bears Bills that like I feel like should. Who was the backup running back that would always take all the goal line carries last year away from Cook? And he was like a journeyman. He was a big back. Fuck. He's been on like 5-6 different teams, but he was a high draft pick and was supposed to be a lot better than what he was. At least I think he was a high draft pick. I'm about to look him up because it's bothering me.
Do it. Oh,
Latavius Murray is who I was thinking of.
Okay, hold on. I literally, if I'm right on this, I'm actually going to be so mad at myself. Hold on.
Latavius Murray does not fit, so doesn't matter.
My God. Are you ready for the worst answer in the history of God?
Oh, God.
It's so correct, and I fucking hate myself for this. Bam!
Hail to Pitt, Nathan Peterman, baby.
Brother, how did I pull that out of my ass? I literally was like, I know he was a Bill because that's where he had the fucking 6-pick game, and I could picture him in a Bears jersey. And I was like, this is an abomination, but here we go. Holy shit. Why does my brain remember that? Of all things.
God.
I just, help me, please. There needs to be literally a million Dolphins Niners. These teams have fucking been around for literally the length of Earth's existence.
What about Niners, Dolphins? I feel like there's multiple receivers that are like obvious answers, but I'm just not thinking of them.
It's tough because I'm trying to remember like a bunch of the Niners receivers in like the mid 2010s when they were like right after they were competing,
Yeah,
like after the Kaepernick era,
right.
because all the guys they had then had been on like a million teams. What about Jeff Garcia?
Oh,
Can you look? Did he play for the Dolphins?
I got one. Ted Ginn Jr.
Oh, there you go. Dude, oh my God. Talk about a freaking dude who played everywhere, right?
Yeah. He was one of my favorite college players, too.
4% on the Ted Ginn. There it is. And we got a 97 on rarity score because most of these percentages are like really low.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
look at the
surprised
freaking.
the Frank Gore one was so low.
I think people don't remember the Dolphins.
Probably not, because he was there for like barely any time, if I remember.
Yeah,
correctly.
because like I remember him. I mean, obviously, we all know him as a Niner.
Yeah.
Some people do know him as a Bill because he was still very productive with them. And then I know like we knew he was a Jet because he was just trying to keep playing. But the Dolphins,
his last 3 seasons of his career: 2018 Miami, 2019 Buffalo, 2020 Jets.
there you go. I mean, hey, we filled one.
True.
And
We did good on that one.
I pulled some fucking randos. So did you. The Mac Hollins was good just because we were watching him. And it's like, oh yeah, he literally did that.
Yeah. I was like,
'cause
I'm
he
pretty
went-
sure he was in Miami.
Yeah, no, he went from the Eagles to Miami, and then he went
That's
to
right.
Atlanta,
Yes.
and then now he's with Buffalo. The Nathan Peterman one though, I cannot believe I pulled that. And then I'm actually
That's
so
hilarious.
the Leonard Floyd one, like I don't know how that's only 3%. Like he's a current player who was drafted by the Bears and is literally was like one of the Niners' biggest free agent signings.
Yeah, he's a pretty big name.
Yeah, like he was drafted early. I mean, I'm surprised 3%, which means there's definitely a player that has like an insanely high percent that we're just not remembering.
Does it let you bring up the result thing again? Because it shows, do the show summary. If you scroll,
Yeah,
it should show you.
Yeah,
Go to
there's
most
7.
popular.
Robbie Gold. Okay.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Mitch
That tracks.
Trubisky. Get him out.
Raheem
Brandon
Mostert
Marshall.
for San Fran.
I said
Miami.
Brandon Marshall after I put in who I put in. I said we could do Brandon Marshall too because
Oh, that's
that was-
true.
Ryan Fitz.
Oh, OJ Simpson.
Yep. That's. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
hey,
Everyone
do
else
Marsh-
thought of Christian McCaffrey too.
you could do Marshawn. You could, you know what I mean? Like they all.
True.
They do know how to draft some running backs up there. I'll give them that.
That's true.
Fucking Raheem Mostert, 48%. Like Jesus Christ, bro. Like I know, like it is an obvious one, but literally, the fact that it was 48%, like, what other names are?
There's a
Like,
lot
yeah.
of names in there.
There's a lot of names, but they're not any that are like jumping immediately at Matt Breida, Reggie Bush, because he played 5 games in 2015 with the Niners and then just hung up his cleats.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that. I forgot about his Niners tenure.
Here's a cool throwback of one of the best or most fun college players to watch, LaMichael James. What a beast in college. Jeff Wilson, another current player. Hefe Wilson. Fair enough. Trent Sherfield.
Oh God.
Oh shit.
Well, with that being said, I'm gonna get my ass to bed.
River Craycraft.
Oh God.
Brother, that's got to be 0.1%. There's no way anybody's pulling River Craycraft. Ain't no
I
way.
didn't even know he was on the
Holy
49ers
sh-
at all.
Dude, he was apparently on the Niners for 2 full seasons. Played 15 games. From
Yeah, I had
2020 to
no
2021. Yeah, it was when they were good and he was buried on the depth chart.
Damn.
Holy shit, that's awesome. We finally did well without actually like cheating.
Exactly.
I'm very proud of us for this. All right, homie.
Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Make sure you check out Spotify, Apple, all the audio versions. We'll have video on Spotify as well as our YouTube. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will catch you guys next week. Peace.